Alright guys, today we're playing Cupid, a visual novel. I found this game on Steam, and that's really all I know. Because I wanted to keep, the plot and stuff a surprise, basically. So let's go ahead and start. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. There's no need to explain. It's only natural. A mother loves her daughter more than anything else in the world. He hates you, doesn't he? The world, excuse me, the whole lot of them despise you, don't they? Chasing you into the forest and gouging a hole in your legs. All because you smiled at their husbands. And you know what? You deserve it. You freak. You disgusting, horrible, filthy little girl. Didn't I tell you to stay away from them? You never listen. Serves you right for being the little slut you are. But you don't have to worry, my darling. It's alright. Even if the whole world wishes you dead, I promise you this. Your mother will always be by your side. Okay, this mom, terrible. Terrible mom. I do like the bipolarness, though. Makes it interesting. Okay, I'm a priest now? Yo. My goodness, child, whatever happened to you? You look messed up, kid. This. A girl was slumped in the doorway, soaked by the rain. Her legs were covered in dirt and blood. She lifted her head upon hearing the priest's voice and stared at him with blank eyes. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. She hobbled forwards, her bloodied leg giving way. Automatically, the priest rushed forward to steady her. Years of spiritual training had prepared him for the most unexpected guest to his church. He sprung into action. He ushered her to a pew, brought out some clean cloth and an antiseptic, and began to bandage the wound on her leg. Yet throughout all this, he found he couldn't take his eyes off her. Ah, dude, come on, priest. Come on, man. He would be gazing at the roll of bandages in his hand, deciding how to tie them. And then out of nowhere, he would be staring into her eyes. Priest? Man, don't. She's what, 12, 14? Ugh. Even with all the mud and grime smeared across her face, he couldn't deny that she was absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, man. Come on, man. How old was she? 20? 18? 16? I'm leaning more towards 15, 14, to be honest with you. Her face was so young. The priest had long since aged past his desire for the opposite sex, but somehow something about her enraptured him. When he realized his own thoughts, he quickly steered his mind towards other matters. My child, what happened to you? She seemed to take all the time in the world before responding. He looked at me. Looked? He looked at me and he touched me. Ah, you sweet thing. Poor innocent child. And then he started to kiss me. At first, the priest didn't understand. Then he realized with a jolt of anger what she meant. She was raped. Poor innocent thing, you. Poor innocent child. And it must have been multiple times for all the wives to be like raw and shit, man. Ugh. The young men of French these days were spirited, uncontrollable ruffians. Apparently, a lady walking home by herself one night would be prey to a few number of them. Lust. One of the 7 deadly sins, the one that the priest personally despised the most. Furrowing his brow in sorrow, the priest laid a hand on her thigh. You are safe now, child. God's house is a sanctuary for the faithful. I don't think he'll protect me. Ah, kid, you're making me sad. Sadder. He looked at her in confusion. You see, Father, I have sinned again. Right there among the pews before the altar of God, she bowed her head. I'm sorry. Was she apologizing to him or to someone else? Her hair hid her face and her eyes, and the priest could make neither head nor tail of her. He suddenly, This visual novel's putting me in such a mood I can't even speak right, yo. He suddenly realized that his hand was still on her thigh, and he hurriedly drew it away. I'm sorry. Child, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. She repeated this phrase over and over. It's not your fault. You can't control how other people act. Blame ain't on you, kid. After a while, the priest got up. Don't fret, child. You were not to blame. See, even the priest agrees with me. I don't know whether or not this is a good thing, but I'm gonna assume it is for the moment. I don't know. I don't care. I will contact the local constable, but in the meantime, you are free to make yourself at home here. I will fetch you a hot drink. Tea is always acceptable in these situations. He patted her hand and left to go to the back room. She remained seated on the pew, her head bent forward. As the priest's footsteps faded away, the entire church fell into silence. Now that it was the dead of night, the clouds covered the sky. Barely a sliver of moonlight filtered through the stained glass. The girl sat alone in a ring of darkness. She opened her mouth. No, I know. If I may say my piece, surely. Yes, yes, mother. But he's so very kind. Okay, haven't you learned your lesson, idiot? I fear for your safety. I don't want to be mean to the kid. Nah, I fear for your safety. Child, follow mother's words and leave. You saw the look in his eyes, didn't you? You cannot stay here. Even a man of God can stain you with the filthiest colors. Be a good girl and follow mother's words. But it's cold outside, mother. The rain has not let up. Can't I stay? Okay, I suppose you can. But you must be wary of everyone in this church. Do you understand? You are so weak, my darling. You give my heart so much pain. I'm sorry, mother. I will try my best to stay out of trouble. How am I going to mind you like this? You attract so much misfortune everywhere you go. This is all your fault, my poor child. It's not even her fault. My stupid little girl. Always a blight, aren't you? Whatever will you do without me? I'm sorry, mother. Thank you for always guiding me. It is all my fault. The girl sat in silence. No wonder she thinks everything's her fault. Her mom's a freaking harpy. Mother was right after all. She was always right. Everything was her fault. Her fist shook with a mixture of fear and conviction. She had to do penance. Mother, give me strength. There is something I wish to do. The girl rose from the pew. In front of her was the altar, and on top of the altar was an ornately decorated cross. It was as wide as her head, and the tip of the cross had been crafted such that it was razor sharp. Oh, no. I don't like where this is going. Oops. Sorry, y'all. She left the pew, knelt briefly, and then walked over to the altar. I'm just going to quickly save here. Okay, return. Don't tell me. You're quite sure you're doing this? The girl's arm trembled ever so slightly. What other way is there for me to atone? She picked up the cross. Oh, my darling daughter. Mother is proud of you. Slowly she brought the sharp end close to her face. So close that it hovered just above her left eye. And then she gouged out her own eye. Oh my God. What? Chapter 1, the star in the... You're not even gonna, like, tell me what happened after that? Did she, like... What did the priest do? Did she run out? If she ran out, is her eye still in there, or is it just horribly disfigured? Okay. A scruffy young girl in tattered clothes peeked through the open gates of Chateau du Sommet. Somebody in the comments, please correct me if I said that wrong. An afternoon goûter was being held in the gardens. Again, I'm not French, I'm Texan. Or I'm a Texan. I have no idea, sir. So are madams. People from high-class estates strolled around the manicured gardens while chatting loudly with one another. There were beautiful ladies clad in silk and velvet, their necks adorned with pearls and jewels. A variety of foods was displayed on the tables. The girl stared at the food. She hadn't eaten properly for the past few days. Are you hungry, child? We must not linger. I'm going with the second option. I don't like this. And the way you're dressed like a peasant. These people sound... well, not royalty, but like nobility-wise. You know what I mean? And usually people like that don't take real kindly to peasants and stuff lingering. So they're more likely to be like dicks and stuff to her. So we must not linger. We must not linger in this place any longer. I detest it. Surely we can look around for a bit. It is still a little early. There was something else that called to her other than the party itself. She walked to and fro from the gates, peeking at the crowd, despite the urging of her mother to leave. Just a tiny glance would be enough. The girl smiled at the thought of him. The owner of the chateau, the Marquis de Gaulle. The girl was drawn to him. He wasn't the same as other people. He seemed different somehow. He was kind to her and would always hand her food when she delivered flowers. Her heart felt at ease with him. Yeah, I'm not going to say he's the same as everyone else, because he sounds kind of nice. But I don't really care for him, because this whole situation seems like it's just going to be real depressing at the end, if you know what I mean. I do not care for him. But I wish you would stop ogling some man like a common whore. I just want to see him, Mother. Quick save. What for? What good does his presence do you? He makes me feel like there are still good people in the world, Mother. There are no good people in the world, child. It's hard to say. It is hard to say, of course, dear. We do not know the real intentions people have. One can hope that real charity exists. But even good people will always put their needs first. That is kind of true. Even your precious Marquise. Don't you think I'm a good person, Mother? Of course I do. Of course, child. You are special. Haven't I raised you as such? I've tried my best, my dearest. Yes, Mother, you keep me right. I love you. The girl stared at her shoes and looked around for a bit, hoping for just a glance before she left. And there he was. There was no harm in looking, she reasoned. She would never enter the Marquise's world. Let her heart be filled with hope. He turned his eyes in her direction. Did he smile at her? The girl's heart stopped. Did he recognize her? She beamed. My, is this creature deaf as well as dumb? It might be, poor thing. Mademoiselle! A voice called to the rose girl. She gasped. It seemed that somebody else had noticed her presence. She turned to leave. No, no, my dear. Poor little creature. Don't run away. Charlotte, she stings. Don't touch her. Came to crash the party, little urchin. You hungry? Her stomach gave a low grumble. She was always hungry, it seemed, no matter how much or how little she ate. Encouraged by the kindness the Marquise had shown her, the girl approached the women. Oh, child, they're women too? Alright, that's it for today. But it's not the fact... I'm not saying all females are mean, I'm just saying... like, to each other they are. Like, I'm a girl. I'm a female. And this is how things go in society sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying sometimes. And especially with nobility to the peasants, I can see this happening. Anyway, that's it for today. And I'll see you guys.